So I received a YouTube comment that asked me, "What is the greatest moment in your life?" And you know what? He got me thinking about a little bit. He got me a little reflecting right there, and I was like, what exactly was the greatest moment of my life? And the conclusion is I couldn't come up with any, but I can tell you one of my greatest moments in my life. You see, what happened was I went to Japan. I went with my brother during I believe it was my high school years, sophomore maybe. And what happened was we decided to try this program called Wolf. And that's basically like, imagine an internship where you get to work for someone and they provide you with, food, they give you some shelter, they give you a little bit of their culture. They're like, yeah, this sounds pretty cool. This sounds like a cool cultural exchange kind of program. So then me and my brother, we're hopping on this train. We go all the way to this farmland. And we're like, all right, we're getting ready. We're going to learn some more Japanese because they can't speak English. And then this guy picks us up with perfect English. And he's like, come on, let's go, guys. Let's go work on our farm. And so, all right, we got a good translator, I guess. We got a good guy who knows English. And so we continue going on this, to his place, and it's gigantic. It's huge. It's like I don't know how to put it, in the middle of Japan, so it's really hot. And he has this big house, and then you see other woofers, or that's what they call them. People who are working in exchange for a food, shelter, place to live. And then we're like, oh wow, this is pretty cool. And then all of a sudden, the next day, we're working. I'm basically weeding out. We're working on the farm, weeding out weeds for hours upon hours, and then I decided to take a 5-minute break because I was one of the hardest workers out there. So I'm like, all right, yeah, I've been doing a good job. Let me take a 5-minute break. And then that boss, the one who knows English, he looks at me and is like, come on here. Let me tell you a little bit of something. And then so I'm there, and he's just there pouring some coffee, just looking at me pouring coffee, and it's like, do you like coffee? And I'm like, I don't, but I guess I'll drink coffee. And then I drink the coffee, and then he's like, man, look, I'm providing you food, I'm providing you shelter, so you gotta put in a little bit more work for me. And then I'm just like this. I took a 5-minute break just from weeding, because I was weeding. I was probably working 2 times harder than everyone else out there. And I'm like, I thought I deserved the break, and I get reprimanded by him. And then what happens later is that instead of, a Japanese style cooking, basically what he did was he went to the groceries, he got them, and it was basically college style where we just pick whatever we got from the fridge, and then we had to cook our own meals, so there's no Japanese food over there. And after that, we go back to working on the farm. So there's me working on the farm, and I'm exhausted, man. I'm like, oof, all right, I'm tired. Let me go to sleep. And the only place I could sleep was outside, where in Japan, where there's a lot of mosquitoes, with no with a dusty couch, mosquitoes everywhere. So I had to choose between sweating or choosing some sort of sweater. And then the next day we had to work on a mountain. So we got like our pickaxe, and we're creating steps for the mountain. And luckily, my brother had such an allergic reaction from all the mosquitoes that it was like, man, we gotta go home. This isn't good for him. And man, you could just see the eyes where it's like, all right, I'll drive you back. But he had these eyes where he was just pissed off and disappointed at the same time. And it sounds like it's like one of the worst moments of my life, but it was also one of the greatest moments because it made me appreciate how much I love air condition, how much I love all the meals in Japan. It just made me so grateful for everything out there, because I did not realize how hard it is working out on the fields for 12 hours a day, mosquitoes everywhere, and it just made me appreciate the. So we went back, we got to a hotel, and it just made me appreciate how much everything was there. The cold tap water from the sink, a toilet seat, a bed, a cramped hotel with AC. It was amazing with some miso soup. Mm-hmm. All right. And the reason why I just went through that whole lengthy explanation is because it made me realize that when we like to beat ourselves up, we just like think about the time where you actually reflected on yourself and thought about all the great things that you've done. Probably rarely because we're just thinking about the present, we're thinking about, we're hungry, we're tired. I got to go to the gym. I guess I'll go to the gym. But we don't take the time to reflect on the day, maybe our life. Maybe it's good to do this like once a week, once a month. Just reflect on the week and the day, and you'll realize that you're going to get a lot more satisfaction because rather than just living through the present, you can reflect on what you did throughout the day, throughout your week, throughout your life, and just pick out the happy moments and just relive them because instead of beating ourselves up all the time, it's better to think about, the great things that we did in life because let's be real, we're not the most perfect people, but that doesn't mean that we have to beat ourselves up all the time. It's better to have some, what's it called, self-love or something? I don't know, but it's better to just not beat yourself up. Reflect on the great things that you did because you are a great person. And when I say that, I mean that you should probably create a list. I read it in an article somewhere. I tried it, but I actually forgot about my list. Basically, it's just create a list of how awesome you are. Now, it seems kind of narcissistic. I know it sounds pretty narcissistic, right? But since we just beat ourselves up all the time, we don't think about how great we are. That's why our self-esteem is low. Our confidence is probably lower than normal. And that's because we don't realize that we just focus on our faults and our mistakes rather than the good things that we did. Like let's say you're trying to become like a tennis champion, all right? You're playing some tennis, you're like, oh yeah. Oh man, I'm amazing. I'm hitting every ball. Oh crap, I missed one ball. Oh my god, I'm a failure. I can't believe I did this. And then you just beat yourself up just because you missed, one ball out of 100 serves that they sent you. And rather than focusing on the fact that maybe last week, you hit 97 balls, and this week you hit 99 balls, but the fact that you missed one ball, that's just your sole focus. And what happens is that focus where you just, you missed that one ball, you made that one mistake, and then it feels like, man, I'm such a failure. And just having that mindset is, I don't think it's pretty healthy to call yourself a failure. But, it's good to realize that you made a mistake, but it's not good to just dwell on the fact that you failed and that you're a failure and just focus on how you can improve the next time. All right, that's my rant. I hope you found something interesting with my story. I hope you reflect on me, what your greatest moment in your life was in the comments below. I'll read all the comments. All right? So, all right, see you guys.